Good morning. Thank you for coming, joining us today. So this is the agenda of today. We're going to be talking about some of the new IP cameras, which is the new exciting 4K cameras, the newer 5 megapixel cameras. We're going to introduce the 8i NVR. Another exciting part is the Doorbell. We're going to be bringing access control to the market from LTS. We're going to talk, of course, we're going to talk about HD-TVI, DVR, and also the TVI cameras. So LTS, we all have familiar faces here. You guys have been with us for a long time, and we expanding rapidly. And last year, I believe we were at like 9 offices last year. Up until this point, we have 12. We just recently opened Georgia, and also another office in Chicago. So the LTS is growing very fast. And what do we most focus on for our customer? Of course, product quality is one of them. But another one very important part, which is customer service. So we like to provide as best customer service to our customers as possible. So we have local branch office provide local tech support. We have certified technician at every single office. And of course, not just tech support, we have other management team also located in other offices to provide service for you guys. And as I said before, we have 12 locations as of right now across the US. And of course, we have Europe Center and also a manufacturer China base. And of course, we kind of introduced the R&D department in New Jersey in 2015. And these are some of the products our customer that has worked on, like a stadium, logistic, also the educational, of course, commercial retail that's very common. We have some health center, and of course, in education with school project. We recently landed a couple of big school projects in PA, and of course, airport. We are very proud to mention that we do have PTC cameras. Our PTC cameras installed at the Newark Airport in New Jersey. And of course, residential is another very common project. So the first thing we want to talk about, of course, is the newer trend of of course, 4K. Everyone is talking about 4K now. So this is a newer product lineup for our IP cameras. First thing first, they all look familiar, right? You guys probably installed tons of it. But what's the difference between them? But before I get into it, I want to talk about the details of the feature details first. Besides the resolution, of course, 4K is going to bring you crystal clear, a lot better than with the common 1080p resolution, which is we're going to have some demonstration going on later on. But one of the most important things that comes with the camera are they are H.265 and H.265 plus ready, which means you will have longer recording. Because in our industry, our bottleneck is the storage. No matter how resolution you go, how high you go, but the storage just can't keep up. Think about it right now. Our digital, camcorders or our cameras, they go up to about 24, megapixel last year. But our camera is not, it's going too fast. But the storage is not going as fast. So that's the bottleneck that we have. So in order to do that, we have, to kind of say that we can kind of introduce new codec to provide longer storage. So the H.265 and H.265 Plus will give you that, such a features. So I kind of did some testing on the comparing to 4 megapixel, the new 4K camera. So what I did is I used a 64 gig SD card on the 4 megapixel camera and turned on the H.264 Plus. I turned on the motion recording. The recording approximately lasts about 7 to 10 days. So I take out this 64 gig SD card and put in the 4K camera. Same configuration, except I use H.265 Plus. In this case, I was still able to manage to get 7 to 10 days of recording. So you pretty much double the resolution. But at the same time, you have the same recording. And this new product lineup, every single camera is going to come with Matrix IR 2.0. Matrix IR 2.0 is a little different than the first generation, which is they are a little smaller. So the heat dispense is a lot less. So they could be put in multiple different kind of housing. So especially one of the, I will show you the other camera. And also this camera will feature SD card slot as a default, every single model. So every single model will comes with the SD card slot, and they're up to 128 gig. And they all feature true WDR. The current lineup before this comes out that we have does not have true WDR. So this particular 5 megapixel and 4 megapixel will have true WDR. And of course, the other stuff that we talked about, which is VCA that we've been talking about past years. But why do I list it here? Because we have more to introduce. These 4K cameras will come with something called face detection, which means you can use that option to detect face for recording. In that case, you will have less false alarm. Another option is called baggage removal. I'm sorry, baggage attendance. Due to the reason, unfortunately, the terrorist attack in, across the other countries. So we kind of developed this kind of features. If someone will leave a baggage or a luggage, and the camera picks it up saying, okay, no one is picking it up, it will send an alert to either the central monitoring station or the security guards or things like that, depends on how you set it up. Another option is called object removal. So let's say if I have a camera in here, I'm pointing at a TV, and someone took out this TV. And the camera will send me an alert saying that someone removed the TV because I draw the area. So this is another new VCA features that we introduced. ANR is called automatic network replenishment. It's something that we don't really talk about. We've been having that for years, but we never really introduced because it's based on the model. Because in order to have this function, you have to have an SD card. So the good thing about this is every single camera, the 4K and also the 5 megapixel will feature that function. What exactly ANR is? Let's say if I have a NVR and I have a separate PoE switch and a camera with the SD card slot. From the NVR side, you're able to turn on the ANR. So let's say the network is down. The camera and the NVR are separated, not able to communicate. So you're going to lose the video footage because the camera is not connected. But at the same time, if you turn on ANR, the camera will start recording the motion onto the SD card, and when it's done, when the connection is established, the camera will push those video files back to the NVR so we will not lose anything. So this is another feature that we can have it for years, but we don't really market it. But the only downside is if the power is out on the camera, there's nothing you can do about it. But if just the network disconnects on the cable, in that case, you still have that function. And another feature, it's not a feature, but it comes standard to the 4K and the 5 megapixel, the IP67. Of course, the basic stuff is duty, DNR, BLC. Of course, you can use either DC 12-volt power or use PoE, and they are dualistic. And let's talk about some of the housing. So this model here, you guys are familiar. This is the very similar to our current model, which is 3042, 3052, things like that. But they are a little different. This is the actual camera itself. So like, you think about it, because the previous generation on the camera itself, it doesn't have a base like this. You see there's a little lip on the bottom. Hope everyone can see. There's a little lip on the bottom. So a lot of time, like especially when you're installing this kind of camera on a junction box, or maybe some kind of like softer surface, it's kind of like crushed in. So in that case, your ring cap is harder to put on or harder to remove. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have had that issue before, right? Oh, yeah. So this will completely remove that, the frustration of you guys, of course. This has features a little metal base. So in this case, no matter how much you put pressure on it, it will not deform. It will not change into any other form. So in this case, installing this is a lot easier. Removing it, a lot easier. So in that case, it's, of course you guys don't want to spend like 5 minutes trying to take it away. You want to be a minute and gone, right? So like this will be a lot, I won't say a features, but I will say improvement, enhancement that we made to the camera. And of course, this camera will feature SD card slots is right above here. So basically, when you rotate the camera, you're able to access the SD card slots. And of course, the housing-wise, everything looks the same except the base that we made changes to. And the next up is we want to talk about is the vendor dome 7382W. So this is the actual camera. Oops, sorry, I have disconnected. But it looks regular to our normal dome camera, the 74 series. It looks very similar. But the difference is this one has matrix IR. So like instead of you're gonna have a huge, IR goes around the camera, which is very feasible. Think about like a lot of end users when they want to install cameras. What they want to do, of course, they want to capture a crime that happens near their property, or they want to scare people away. So of course, if you have more IR, then more effective. But a lot of times, just like what happened to me earlier, a couple years ago, and I want to catch that person, so I want something more invisible. So which is matrix IR is one of the things that can provide. This camera will give you 3 matrix IR 2.0. So one on the left, one on the right, one on the bottom. So this will be a lot less visible compared to the traditional the vendor dome that we've been selling. And this also features 4K and also the 5 megapixel. Let me turn it back on so you guys can see the quality on. And the next one we're going to talk about is the 9382, which is this guy over here. Disconnect the cable. So, what's so special about this camera? Nothing special, right? Looks like our 91 series, 9152, 9142. But we never really carried a fixed bullet camera in 2.8 lens. This is the first bullet camera that features 2.8 lens. And of course, it will come with SD card slots. Okay, so this is something that we kind of brought into the market, which is a little different compared to the 91 series. So this is something that you guys might be interested in, because we noticed that 2.8 lenses usually sell a lot more compared to the 4 or the 6. So I hope you guys will use that camera more. And of course, the upcoming product, which is these 3 guys. We haven't brought it in yet. We're still on production. But I want to introduce you guys since we're talking about new products. So the first up is 3883W, that's SZ. So this camera is a third vertifocal camera. This is the first IP camera that we introduced to the market that is vertifocal, but it's also third. We already get a lot of attention up since we launched our catalog, because we never really have an IP third that's vertifocal. So this camera will have everything that 3382 has, but it features motorized vertifocal. Of course, the next one is very similar to the 72 series that we've been selling, but this one will be motorized in 4K. And also it features IP10 render proof. This one right here is going to be the Bullet 9883, which is very similar to our current lineup, except it's 4K, but also motorized vertifocal. So the next page is going to be 5 megapixel. All the features that we talked about earlier will also features on the 5 megapixel, except one thing is the resolution is a little different. But LTS is going to be introducing a new firmware, because we already have the first 3 models, which is same exact housing. The reason we have 2 matrix IR is, one is 5 megapixel, one is a 4K camera, so we want to see the difference. But one thing that we're going to be making changes to the camera, which is the firmware. The normal 5 megapixel resolution, they are usually 4:3 ratio. But the thing about our TVs, they don't come 4:3 anymore. They're all 16:9. So like the market trend is kind of fading away, leaning towards to 16:9. No matter how we don't like it, because some people still prefer 4:3. So this camera, as of right now, it comes with a 4:3 ratio resolution. But we'll be adding an additional 5 megapixel resolution, which is going to be 16:9, 5 megapixel. So for those of you that still prefer 4:3, you still can get this camera. Or for the one that prefer 16:9, you're still able to use this camera. You have an option to change it. So this is another features, I would say free features that we offer to our customers by using firmware upgrades. Sorry about our cleaning crew. Yeah. So this is another lineup. They all will feature IP67. And one more thing I want to point out to our existing lineup is the 4 megapixel with the WDR, the 2 megapixel with WDR, and the 4 megapixel without WDR. They will now feature IP67 instead of the IP66. So they will be all upgraded. Okay. And of course, the next thing I do want to talk about is some of the newer camera that we kind of introduced to the market like about a month ago. We used to have the 8932W, which is a 3 megapixel cube camera, looks exact the same, but it only features 4mm lens. This one features 2.8 fixed lens, which is give you wider angle. Because a lot of people, they buy this camera for some kind of, so they install it interiorly for the nanny cams, or they want to watch over their pets, things like that. So they want higher wider angle. So this camera will feature wider angle. And also it will feature H.264 plus. Okay, but not 65, it's 264 plus. Okay, so this is besides that, and also the camera will feature true WDR instead of DWDR like the 3 megapixel. So this is the three difference between of course, besides the resolution, compared to the older model 8932. So this is the comparison of the H.264 and H.265/65 plus. I do have a video that I could show you guys that our marketing did.
Discover the difference in compression with the new line of H.265 Plus cameras and NVRs with LTS. H.265 Plus technology offers a higher video compression standard. As camera technology advances and higher resolution quality, more storage is needed. H.265 Plus brings a better compression performance and lower bandwidth utilization ratio, reducing the video file size even more. Increased recording capacity while still obtaining maximum image clarity. Compared to H.265, H.265 Plus reduces the bit rate from 35 to 50%. Start doubling your recording time now and save storage space with H.265 Plus. For more information, call your trusted security consultant today.
Thanks to our marketing team that we could provide the video. So as I said, comparison earlier, so 4 megapixel and compared to 4K on a similar size of storage. Will pretty much give you the similar recording. So the next thing we want to talk about is NVR. Is anyone any question about the IP cameras that we just talked about? We call it the AI NVR. So this model is LTS 0732D-R8. So this is a 32-channel NVR, and the reason why we call AI is you think about the normal recording, usually change of light, change of temperature, falling leaves, windy, weather. Those are considered motions. So in that case, you're gonna have a lot of false alarm. So this particular NVR is capable as analyzing is this an actual human movement instead of an animal, leaves, things like that. So it will filter down those and give you a lot less false alarm. This one, if you use a 2 megapixel camera on this, you will have first 16 channels capable of doing the to analyze. Or if you use 4 megapixel, you will have 8, and then so forth. So if you're 4K, then you're probably going to be like 4 cameras maybe around there. And this camera is capable of playing back up to 12 megapixel. It has 4K output. We support 8 hard drives and 8 terabyte each. And then it does have 2 LAN cards for isolated network. And of course, it will support a newer compression, which is H.265 and 265 plus. And another newer thing is the RAID 6. It comes with RAID 6 instead of just RAID 5. So we talk about AI. And one of the terms that we do use is called SMD, which is Smart Motion Detection. So like a normal IP camera and normal NVR combination, you're going to detect a lot of different movements. As I said, change of light, change of temperature, animal, falling leaves, or weather changes. Those will be picked up by the camera because they don't know, they just know it's a motion. They don't know if it's a human or it's not. But if you're using our IP camera to pair with the AI NVR, the camera, I mean the NVR will able to detect the motion, but it will further analyze it and then tell you, okay, this is not a human being, so I don't need to send an alert. I don't need to start recording on the NVR side. With these features, we're able to eliminate a lot of false alarm. Just an example, we do have a case study that is we have some kind of farm in the middle of countryside. They do have a lot of people coming to want to do some kind of vandalism. So they purchased the deep learning NVR. So in that case, they don't want leaves, they don't want animals moving by to draw any alert. So the deep learning NVR, they were capable to eliminate a lot of false alarm by using this NVR. So this is the interface of this. This is the playback interface of the NVR. So comparing to the older and the newer, we only have 4 messages or 4 events, comparing to 1,736. So it will reduce the false alarm a lot. So and again, our marketing that made a video for to introduce the deep learning NVR. There we go.
Artificial intelligence in security now becomes a reality. LTS introduces a new level of security by building deep learning algorithms in its latest NVR. The deep learning NVR is built for perimeter prevention with nearly the same precision that a human eye can use to identify objects versus human intrusion, reducing the number of false alarms. The Smart Motion Detection, or SMD, improves the accuracy up to 100 times the standard motion detection to only trigger if a human being is detected. Take a look. All these objects may trigger line crossing or intrusion false alarms, citing unnecessary worry. Inspired by the brain's ability to process intel, the deep learning NVR works to understand the human body in a secondary analysis, like face detection, object analytics, allowing higher accuracy in detection. Line crossing is enabled here, and this cat is crossing the line, triggering a false alarm. However, after processing images, the deep learning NVR filters out false alarms. Not only is the use of AI highly beneficial, you can use your existing LTS IP cameras and easily integrate with pre-existing security infrastructures. Simply replace the NVR with the deep learning NVR. For more information, contact your trusted security consultant today.
So, and also another thing I forgot to mention was the camera. Remember that we talked about the VCA or the NVR and the IP camera. The IP camera has to have the VCA function in order to pair with the NVR. But on the AI function, it's not required on the IP camera, which means you can put any IP cameras from us with the AI NVR, you will have that function. So it's not like locked on to certain models that are able to provide the AI technology. So the next one we're going to talk about is a newer 256 channel NVR. So this is another, we're going to call it TV wall. So this is also 256 channel. Just going to talk about briefly about the housing one is very similar. Instead of, if you're just going to come with a quad-core processor, you're going to have a lot more bandwidth. I do have a comparison chart to compare the older model and the newer model. And this one will also feature 16 hard drive, but this one will be 8 terabyte instead of the older one 6 terabyte. And of course, we will support RAID 6 also, plus H.265 and also H.265 plus. So this is a comparison chart. Okay, so the older model and the newer model. The older model, as you can see, you only support 640 megabits per second, but when you turn on the RAID, it gives you only 320. So with the newer one, you will have 768, but when you turn on the RAID, it doesn't affect your bandwidth. So that way, you will have a lot more. And of course, this model will give you 4K output, compared to the older one will give you 1080p. And of course, as I said earlier, H.265, H.265 Plus will be supported on the newer 256 TV wall. And the playback resolution, we will up to 12 megapixels this time. Everything else the same, except the hard drive storage. The older one will give you 96 terabyte. The newer one will give you 128 terabyte, which is a lot more. And of course, RAID 6. Any question about the AI NVR or also the newer the TV wall? Any questions so far? Yes.
How do you actually distinguish, let's say, a face or body that you want to do that?
It's actually the shape of a human being. The NVR will deeply, just very similar to, consider like the VCA function that we had introduced earlier. It's kind of like use motion to further analyze it, which part of motion process certain region. So we kind of use the same technology, but a lot more enhanced or advanced. It will collect all the motion detection data, and the processor will determine this is a human shape that moving around. In that case, it will trigger the alert. So it's like an advanced motion enhancement again.
But so just like, if somebody dressed up, a small child dressed as a dog and got that on all fours, would the camera think that that's a dog?
That's another downside of it.
It would sort of think that's a dog.
Yes.
We go over the camera.
Right. Yes, that could be something that we could. That's something that could be happening.
Go cap everybody.
Yeah. But the thing is, not many people they will know they have AI MVR. So in that case, if something happens like this, that means it's some guy or inside job. So that's another thing. Again. So I mean, it's a newer technology that we focus on this year. That's something that we're going to be, this year to focus on because, as I said, storage is one of the biggest bottleneck that we have now. It's just, we were at 8 terabyte last year. This year we have 10 terabyte. I mean, is we going like 10, 20% increase? But we talk about the resolution. We talk about double every year. I mean, so that's the reason why the resolution is not going as fast because we don't have that kind of storage. So who knows? Because the H.265 took them like almost a decade to introduce to the market. Who knows? We have to wait another decade for 266.
How does that affect the cloud service?
I'm sorry.
How does that affect the cloud service?
For you mean like cloud storage?
Storage, yeah.
You mean the AI technology? Well. Because it will filter it down. So let's say you have a, like wind blowing at a tree, the leaves are falling, they detect the motion, and the NVR gonna, there's a motion. And you take that motion to analyze it. Is it a human movement? And you determine, it's not. It's not gonna record to the hard drive. So that way you can eliminate those false alarms. So that way you can have longer storage.
So now what if you want to know if a car drove through the alley or a truck or, does that type of analytics eliminate some of the stuff that you actually want?
Well, because in the 32 channel, only the first 16 channel will give you the AI technology. So the last 16 channel will be operating a normal camera. So those are the ones that you can use to apply to certain applications. Yes. Any questions? Okay.
At what point are you going to go into the software programming?
We currently don't have one out here. The interface is very the same. It's just the option to turn it on and off. So we're just going to filter it down. So,
I mean, I've never used LTS cameras or software before.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we could show. We do have a couple of NVR and DVRs here that you can look at. The interface, as I said, is different than high vision, but they do show some kind of similarity.
Okay.
And the next thing we want to talk about is the doorbell and access control, which is some of the new products. So we already get a lot of attention for this particular product. So this is the Wi-Fi doorbell, which is the prototype that we had it for, that we'll say probably 4 months now for testing. So this is a 2.1 megapixel camera. It's 180 view. The IR is up to 15 feet. It has two-way audio. And the interesting part is this camera will use 16 volt or 24 volt power, not the DC 12 volt power like the traditional cameras, because usually the door chime is usually 16 volt to 24 volt, which means when you take out the doorbell, you can just use the same power source to power this camera up. You don't have to worry about rerunning the wire for the camera and things like that. It's a pain in the neck, I know, right? Because the wire is pretty much already done when the guys move in or the builder already built it. So in that case, you use the power, which is the one thing that we put into the consideration. Thank you. And this camera, of course, is going to be using Wi-Fi only. It does not have any wire. As you see in the back, only set the power. And WDR function, the DNR, and also one of the very, I would say the best selling point is this one has local storage. You can put in an SD card slot. You can put an SD card up to 128 gig. Instead of other manufacturers, they force you to use cloud storage and pay like $7 a month or $5 a month, whatever they charge. So this way you can sell it to your customer. You don't have to worry about like I charge you for cloud service, things like that. And this particular model is using IP54, so it's outside rated, so you don't have to worry about the water. And this particular model will comes with 4 different housing. It's not that you're going to come with 4 different models that you could choose, either or, but they are included in the package. So this is the gray, and you do have a black, silver, and black. So like you could choose whichever housing that matches the the theme of the house or whichever your customer feel like. Okay. As you can see, this is the bigger resolution of the higher resolution of the housing, so it comes with 4 different colors. So this is a simple comparison comparing to our competitors for this particular product. As you can see, other manufacturers, especially Ring, is probably the most common and well known right now. But the thing is, the end user can buy it themselves. So you cannot. The regular model that they provide is only 720, and it does not support onboard storage. As you can see across the whole entire lineup, none of them support local storage. Okay, and of course, some of them use Wi-Fi, some of them do not, things like that. And one more thing over here, NVR compatible. As you can see on our screen right now, this is the doorbell connected to our NVR. This is NVR compatible. So if the customer is installing cameras at home, they can actually link this to the NVR. Or, of course, the DVR, because our DVR support IP cameras also, like depending on model, up to a certain channel. So in this case, they could have the storage not on the SD card. They could also have it on the NVR as well. So not just, yes.
How do it work in the dark?
It's 15 feet. It's 15 feet. So usually most of the house, when you want to see the person, 15 feet is well enough. Yes.
So two-way audio is only to the NVR, but not to
It's to all the actual.
a simple app or.
Yes, that's why I have a colleague to bring me the iPad, which is actually to the mobile device, which is I will demonstrate in a second. Yes.
You have one of these comparison charts for us too, or not?
Yes, we can provide it. Yes, absolutely. Can I take a sales rep and we could send it to email it to you,
Okay.
so that way you can use it to present to your customer. We will try to provide as much material that you guys need.
How many can we put on this system?
You can put as many as you want. You can put one in the front, like you put one in the garage. You can put 2. So you can put it. This camera right now is on a 4K TV, so it kind of, blow it up. But you can put as many as you want. You don't really have to, no limitation whatsoever. But it's just basically this thing is act like a video, like a simple IP camera.
I missed the answer, Doing, guy.
Yes.
If the audio goes to NVR too.
The audio goes to the tablets or your phone, depending on how many devices they have. So as soon as I press this button, I get a notification on my phone, on my tablet, which is I'm going to connect to the monitor to give you a more better demonstrating. So let's do that now. Any questions in the meantime? Yes.
I was wondering about the recording.
So the recording.
Yes. Depends on how you like to. Let's show you guys. If you go to record and parameters, and then you go to the doorbell, as you can see here, you can choose the option to record audio or not.
Okay.
So, but the little difference is when someone walks nearby the doorbell, that's when they're going to record. So that means when they press it, they will be moving around in front of the camera. So that's what they will be recording. So the conversation will be recording too. So like, it's based on, as I said, it's very similar concept to a mobile IP camera. So let's,
My last question is,
Yes.
what about randomness?
I believe it's IK8. So like, it's somewhat approved, but I can confirm that.
Is that an aluminum housing or is that?
This is the housing itself, the outside is plastic. This is how you open it. But we've been open it so many times, that's why it's.
Oh, I see, it's a red light right there.
Yeah. So this is the actual. Yeah. So like, if you press the doorbell, you're gonna see on the top.
Why do you lose the picture when you press the doorbell?
I'm sorry.
In the middle of a screen, you're losing the picture when you press the doorbell.
That's before it. So let me hang up first. See right here. This is the pictures that the previous motion detected.
Yeah, but
So right now he's looking at it. It's kind of synchronized. I think there's some dirt on the camera. So as you can do two-way audio, and then you can switch from basic to like a high definition resolution. Let me note that first. So this is the actual 1080p. So like to demonstrate it again, so it will press it.
Now, with all this technology you have, why you use the level convex lens on there instead of one that would stretch the picture?
I'm sorry, what's the?
Well, here you've got the round circle convex lens,
Right.
where they do have lenses now that are just basically, they would take that picture and stretch it out.
Like to develop it.
Yeah. Why don't you have that? Because that's really more of a distortion, as we look at it, instead of having a better picture.
Well, this camera is still a 2 megapixels, so let's go back to the.
I think you were just getting on what you were saying, lens, why not a better lens?
Yeah.
The quality of the video is okay.
Because the reason why we thought this through, how we thought this through is.
Yeah.
Because the reason why we thought.
That's good for me.
Yeah, because you think about when you press a doorbell, the person going to be in front is literally feet away, so it's not going to be like, that's why, because when we put more higher resolution lens to it,
This is what it looks like.
the pricing going to be a lot more expensive, compared to like a 2 megapixel and 4 megapixel.
I just do it because I deal with customers that.
I know, they want the highest resolution.
That's the first thing they're gonna say, why is that picture round? Why can't it fit like with the TV screen?
You need, I mean, yeah, that's like when they,
Do you work, why do I have to look at a curved picture? Believe me,
I know, I understand.
things like that, but that's what sells our product.
Right, but I would say it's because of the way that 360, that's the 180 design, instead of we twist it around, you're probably not able to see a package on the floor, things like that. So for example, if I put, can you help me out a little bit?
Tend to do all of it.
A good example, you go to ATMs now.
Right.
They do not have.
So you can see, VPN comes right here. That's the, the angle of the camera.
They don't have a 180-degree lens at ATMs.
Yeah, so that way it covers more. If you put a regular camera 2.8 lens in here, you're probably gonna cut off like right here. You're not gonna see a lot more compared to that. So that way that would be helpful for the end users.
Can you hold that back up? Bring the light up and bring the.
Okay, hit the light, please.
That's just gonna look with a little bit more light. And still, it's good. Yeah, it's pretty decent for a doorbell.
I think we do have some kind of dust inside the lens, so I try to clean it. But let me take up the lens so that you guys can see it.
Is there a desktop app as well?
Yes.
Okay.
The desktop app is the NVMe 7000, but when you talk, it's only going to be available on mobile app.
I mean, you wouldn't get like a pop-up like you now.
Yeah, like when you get a call, can I go on the
No,
desktop and get a phone call?
Unfortunately, not at this moment. Only available on the
With
mobile
that
app.
development. Yeah, but if you're already
One
one
person
person
sitting at a desk working on the computer.
I see we do have a lot of interest in this product, right?
Probably fun.
Yeah, because it's confusing against the.
Right. Yeah, but I will say the most I would say features is the more storage. Let's say they don't want to buy an NVR. Yes, sir.
Is that Android and
Yes.
Apple OS?
Yeah, iOS device and Android device.
And then the other thing, the software on the NVR, do you have to do a firmware upgrade
No.
on any NVRs? Because
No.
it didn't have that in the software, so.
It doesn't need to be any upgrade.
Okay.
So it will be compatible with the older, because it's 2 megapixel. So it doesn't have to be.
Okay, well, I just saw that it had Doorbell in that software.
Oh, yeah, we just renamed them, that's all.
Okay.
So this is another very unique product, and it will be listed here that you guys will play around with. And we do have some battery left, so that way we can test it out later. LTS, is expanding, so we do want more products for our customers. So another thing we're going to be, looking forward to is access control. So the product line is still being established. It still have prototype, so we're still testing it. And I do have one on my desk. If some of you guys are interested in it, I'll bring it to later on, the one hands-on. You guys can look at it, and I'll be, answering questions. But this is a temporary on the catalog, as you can see. But the product line, this is an example of what we, will be providing. But one thing, as I said, another surprise, which is this little guy here. What is this? This is another doorbell that we'll be introducing to the market in the later, probably Q4, toward the end of the year. The difference between this guy, why I say it's a surprise, think about this. It doesn't open the door for you. You only answer, who are you, right? Drop in the package on the door. That's all you get. This one has door access built in, which is it has output to the door if you have a door strike, meaning commercial use. Think about Ring.com, Skybell, can they provide opening the door? Okay? This particular model, we're able to use card reader to open the door, or for medical office, they can press the doorbell, it pop up on the phone, things like that. So this is another exciting product we will bring into the market. This is why I want to specifically talk about it. This one will be very interesting because it's market. I believe Seidel, one of the biggest intercom company, they are making one does not have camera. Yeah, so it is something that is going to be very exciting to bring to the market because the doorbell is getting a lot of trends. And think about
Is it the same kind of
housing.
Yeah.
It will be similar, but in more doable housing because that will be how some will come with like metal or aluminum housing.
Sort of like warehousing conditions.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So it will be a lot of market in that case. Think about this is majority for residential.
Yeah.
This is for commercial. Or if they do have like a giant, mansion, this could be useful too. Like door access, like for this door, and yeah. So this is really very cool.
Any plans of integrating SIP into that?
I'm sorry.
Any plans to integrate SIP into that?
The SIP?
SIP.
Yeah. That we don't have that little wireless device in there yet. But there's something we could consider in the future, but currently not. I think it's all about like home automation. So if you integrate it, you can open the door with the either control 4 or other like Google Home or whatever like Echo. So we do have some newer products that going to be not products like brackets. Nothing special, but we have a lot of question about having the incline mount for the fisheye. We do have a 12 megapixel, I'm not sure anyone noticed. There's a 12 megapixel right in the middle of the building. Okay, but now when we installed it, have them, you see looking at the sky, have them looking at the ground. You're not looking at birds, right? You're looking at planes. So what's the point of having 50% of the camera looking at the sky? So with this incline setting bracket, you can actually tilt the camera down. We're going to be installing probably in a week or two for that camera. So we're going to put the incline setting mount. In that case, you guys can see the actual outcome. Is it necessary, to have that on, for a project? This too, another new product that we're bringing in, which is a 4K tester. This will support H.265 and 4K. We do have two different sizing. One is 4.3, one is 7, which is I do have them on demo. On workshop. So you guys can play around with it and test it. So we do have, they both touch screen. One is 960 by 540, and then the bigger one is 1920 by 1200. So those are the same, except the size and also the screen, everything else is same. They both support 8 megapixel 4K camera, 5 megapixel TVI, 4 megapixel, like HD-TVI or regular analog. And this camera has built-in Wi-Fi. Okay, you no longer need wire. And also this could act like an older, monitor, like a small portable monitor, just in case monitor is not working or whatever reason, then you use it to configure your DVR or your NVR. So the next product, we do have some newer product coming in. This is from Ubiquiti. This is the AC wireless transmitter and receivers. So it will go up to 450 megabit per second. So instead of the 160, I believe, the older one, 150, something like that. So this way, you could put 4K cameras using the nano beams. So it will be, for the higher resolution, like 4 megapixel, 5 megapixel, 4K cameras, things like that. And as our LTS, we always programmed it for you guys. Don't have to worry about hassle-free, like programs and stuff.
The testers, are the PoE provided?
Yes, it does. It does provide PoE. If you look at this right now, we have 4 IP cameras plus 1 doorbell. But what about other cameras? What are they? They are the TVI cameras. Our NVR is capable of adding TVI DVRs as a channel onto an NVR. Just another, one of our. Yes. So basically, for the DVR side, you don't have to have a hard drive. You hook up the cameras, and the NVR going to collect the data.
Yeah, and you can bring them into an NVR.
Exactly. So we have some project that has, especially elevators. They do not have Ethernet. They only have older coaxial cables. So they're only able to put analog. So they put TVI cameras. But the whole facility running IP camera. So in that case, they will bring the TVI cameras onto the NVRs as a record. NVR is going to do the recording, and the TVI unit is just going to be sitting there, just provide, the video. So that's something that we added to our NVRs, years ago, but we haven't really talked about it. Thank you, guys.
Now, we are going to have another product manager, Audrey. She's going to introduce our exciting 5 megapixel TVI product lines.
The reason that because I want to use this red color here to show the color, we bring this new line. We call it the Starlight. And the reason the Starlight is, compared to the regular camera, Starlight camera can show the true color, even in the challenging lighting condition. For those who have been with LTS for over 3 years, LTS has been presenting this HD analog solutions to our customers. HD-TVI, every year we present something new to the customer. From 720p, 1080p, to 3 megapixel last year we presented to the customer. And this year we present 5 megapixel. What's even better, 5 megapixel with Starlight. So today I'm going to show you the roadmap of TVI and also the quick look of our new products. If you also we have the real demo here at the front. If you're interested, after the meeting, you can come up here. And also the features, benefit, and the price value of the 5 megapixel. Beginning of this year, we have our 3 megapixel, 1080p and the 3 megapixel with or without WDR features. What's new was Matrix 2.0, which is an advanced feature of the first generation of Matrix IR. Give you the better view in the evening. And later this year, from August, we present the 2 megapixel and 5 megapixel Starlight cameras. Especially for the 5 megapixel cameras, the Starlight camera, we call it TVI 4.0. This is a quick look of our 5 megapixel, new 5 megapixel cameras. It's 5 megapixel, live view is 20 frames per second. 0.008 lux at f-stop is f1.2. And all our cameras upgraded from IP66 to IP67, which is more durable in the older condition. This is the basic housing we always carry. Turret, vandal dome, and bullet. We also have more to come, varifocal. Right now, here, I think this one, as the varifocal, we have the vandal dome. This IK10 rated vandal dome. We also implement Starlight technology to 2 megapixel 1080p cameras. We come in the 4 different housings. We have a fixed and a varifocal in the window dome and the turret dome. And also the lux level is 0.5 lux, and f-stop value is 2.0. Later on, we'll demonstrate. I think I have here 2 5-megapixel on the right, and also 1 2-megapixel left corner, and also the 1 regular TVI cameras at the bottom, left bottom. So you can see the difference, why we call it Starlight. Usually, I would say 5 years ago, most of the Starlight cameras, they only exist, a lot of them only exist in IP area. And also we have low light performance is very important when you do the code for your customers. It's very important for those high-end surveillance cameras. And also I think quite some years ago, Starlight cameras only box camera and not even IR built in it. So right now we have IR building in the cameras, and also the Starlight, we introduced the Starlight technology the first time to the analog camera and the HD analog cameras. So it gives you the quality pictures in very challenging light, like what we have right now. Later on, we're going to dim the light even lower, and also you can see the cameras stay in high quality, the high resolution, and the true color. Comparison of the left one is the regular cameras, and the left one is our Starlight camera. The right one is our Starlight camera. This one keeps vivid color during the night, and this one is a little bit grayed out. The bottom one is the reference shooting to the iPhone 6s, and the conventional camera compared to our ultra-low-light Starlight camera. So before I go to this chart, I actually want to show, by dimming the light, you can see the Starlight. The reason is we have this big screen up front, so you will see all of them in color.
Which one is the new Starlight?
This one is 5-megapixel Starlight. So this is a color mode of the Starlight. Even this is on the regular camera.
So that's not using, the one in your hand is not using the illuminator color right now, let's say.
Right. The IR is kind of off.
The IR is off.
The IR is off.
So it's only using any available color and light in the room.
Right. You can see the obvious, if you change to the color mode, you can see the noise of the lower, the 3-megapixel one, and then the 5-megapixel one. Definitely much sharp, clean, and then give you a very clear picture. And ideally, I should apologize. Ideally, if I don't have this select source on my back, if I don't have this 4K, if I only have this 4K monitors, ideally, what's going to happen? We tested several times. Ideally, if I do this, by dimming the light, little by little, the first one, the IR first one going to go on is going to be 3-megapixel, and then the 2-megapixel Starlight is going to go on. The IR going to go on, which means the camera turns to black and white, monochrome. And then the last one is going to go, the IR is going to go on the 5-megapixel on the right. And if I change them all to the color mode, this 5-megapixel going to go. The reason is because I changed this to color mode. So this one can stay in color, and then this two still stay in black and white. So then show it on 4K monitor, 5-megapixel on 4K monitor. So you can see the 5-megapixel. I can see it with your eyebrows. And the 3-megapixel, the picture.
Does that do that automatically and then pitch dark? Will it do it in pitch dark?
I'm sorry, what?
Will that make that adjustment on its own in total darkness?
You mean adjustment of,
Going from red to the color mode.
to the color mode and the totally dark? If it's 0 lux, then it's gonna show, without IR, the picture gonna monochrome anyway. But giving enough, just a little bit amount of light, the 5 megapixel will show color. Will still present the color image.
So it needs the light in order to make the adjustment for color.
Right, a little bit light. So for your installation, if you know that in the environment, for example, the dim light restaurant, the high-end restaurant always has this dim light. So the restaurant, the parking lot, you know that the lighting source is very stable. We recommended the Starlight cameras and use it in the color mode. However, if you know that you can't control the lighting, some area can control the lighting, sometimes can become completely dark. Yeah, keep the IR on, keep the auto mode. So the IR can kick in anytime you want. And also, you can adjust the IR sensitivity level from our DVR here. If you go to the menu, camera, image, camera parameter setting, you can actually control the day to night and the night to day IR sensitivity, which means the color mode to the monochrome and the monochrome to color. So right now, we set the day to night, which means color to monochrome, to black and white at 2, which means we'll ask the camera to not react to the dimming too sensitive, which means you stay in color longer. We ask the camera to stay in color, stay in true color longer, so we set it as 2. And night to day, which means we'll ask the camera to switch back to the color mode quicker. So we set it up, we set the sensitivity level to 7. And also you can increase the IR IR brightness. So the IR, the lights of the level of the IR are going to increase if you change the number from the, I think it's from the 1 to 9. Okay. And also for the 5 megapixel, you can remote reboot the 5 megapixel camera. That's another new thing from the, see this is 3 meg, this is 5. See the red part of the, it's very sharp. I'm loud enough to, I don't have to use this. So this is very simple chart compared to our LTS offering of 5 megapixel Starlight cameras and 2 megapixel Starlight cameras with traditional other brand. We did a survey of Starlight technology, I think probably a month ago. Some of you replied to the survey, and I know that some of you probably used the Bosch, the Access, Jewel Vision, but they all offer the top-notch IP solutions for the Starlights. And even though for the HD analog solutions, currently we have a few vendors only offer this Starlight technology. However, they're only limited to 1080p. And LTS is the first one in the market offer the highest resolution of HD analog, which is up to 5 megapixels. Other HD analog solutions only go up to as far as 4 megapixel. And we present the 5 megapixel with Starlight technology. And also, the price is amazing if you open the catalog on the page 20 and beyond. That's where our HD-TVI catalog. Then we talk about the DVRs. Beginning of the year, we have these 2 solutions. 83T-ET is for our 1080p real-time recording, and the 85 can connect to the 3 megapixel cameras. So this year, second half of this year, we changed to KET and KST. So which means this DVR here can actually have 4K output. to connect to these 4K monitors. And also, another thing is, this is the first DVR in the market. We have the H.265 compression technology built in this DVR. Normally, that's not happening in the IP world. IP is only IP camera, and IP is H.265, and also the NVR just receive whatever IP cameras sent to NVR and decoded. The H.265, that's for IP. This one is the first analog DVR that has H.265 technology. That's why we call it TVI DVR 4.0. This is differentiator in the market for our DVRs. So H.265 and H.265 Plus, and support up to 5 megapixel TVI cameras, also backward compatible, all those 720p, 1080p, and 3 megapixel. And IP camera input up to 6 megapixel. LTS currently offer 5 megapixel and 4K cameras, and also there's other competitors in the market, they offer 6 megapixel IP cameras as well. For LTS, we have the plan next year, we're going to bring a 6 megapixel IP camera as well. So 1080p real-time recording for 5-in-1 means we can also connect to the TVI, IP camera, traditional legacy analog, CVI, AHD, CVI and HD, and the other HD analog technologies in the market. Self-adaptive, which means for all those analog, whatever it's traditional analog, TVI, CVI, HD, you connect to the back of the DVR, as can recognize the signal and show the camera. You don't have to configure from the DVR. Also the CVBS output from spout out and POC. How many of you here heard about POC? What is
Power of coax?
Power of coax? Are you excited about it? Oh, you've seen it.
It's a good option.
It's good on like PoE, right?
Options are good.
Right? Like, and also, do you think that's gonna? What's the benefit do you think it's gonna be for you?
Less wires.
That's what?
Less wires.
Less wires. Yeah, that's right.
Cheaper cable. Well, you could use the coax for POC in your coax, and then the extra 2 conductor could be used for a trigger. You know?
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, and the save time.
Right.
Go in, go out. You don't have to wear. You know, like the gentleman said, it's wearing. That's save time and save money. So POC, we have the POC option right now. We're doing the market research and technology already there. Technology-wise, we're ready. So we just want to know how you guys react to this type of technology, and we have the plan to bring in later this year, or beginning of next year, with the POC technology. So power over coax definitely save you guys time, installation time. And so this is the whole package together. We call it TVI 4.0. And next year, I think our plan is beginning, I think Q2, we're going to bring in 4K TVI. Not that interesting.
Oh, no, yeah. You said that's going to be next year.
You're concerned about time. Yeah. Beginning, I think Q1 or end of the Q, yeah, this is TVI 3.0, which is our entry-level product. Definitely best price in the market. And also the CVBS startups. And also this one, even this one, we have H.265 as well. So that saves your space where I can show you on the DVR interface here, record parameters. All the camera, this is our new DVR, TVS 4.0. When you connect to the cameras to the DVR, this is 1080p Starlight Camera. Here you can see encoding, video encoding is showing H.265. You have the option to change to H.264 as well. And also here, down here you have enable H.265 Plus, which is H.265 Plus, which is a little bit enhanced functions than H.265. That's our self It is our proprietary technology. It's only on LTS cameras. And also you have the choice to enable them one by one channel by one after another, and also you can do here advanced, you can enable them for all the cameras. You can do the ones for all. Once you do this, because it's gonna reboot the camera, I want here the hard drive saving. We put this small hard drive here, just to the demo. Here it shows, give you 2 days. It's calculated based on based on your recording parameters. It's calculated. It's probably gonna, for this space, you're probably gonna record for 2 days. Okay. If I enable the zip classing for all the channels, here we're gonna be the 3 days. So you can easily show your customer here. If you enable them, definitely you're saving the cost of the storage. Make the storage time longer. If you guys are interested, come over and you can test it. And because it's gonna reboot the whole thing, so I'll leave it later when the presentation is done. Also 5-in-1 for this. And this is the 4.0 we mentioned. Here as a technology we mentioned about, I think Martin probably already showed a video of H.265. And again, this is the very first DVR that has H.265 in the United States market. So we're saving the bandwidth and the storage by 30 to 5%, depending on the complexity of the standard you're looking at, and also the number of the cameras you connect to the DVR. 5-in-1, we talk about it, all those, and also we have the enhanced VCA functions, which means the video content analytics that's Marlon already probably just talk about a little bit in the IP cameras. And here, video content analytics used to be in the DVR for first 2 channels. Or you have the other channels cannot use the VCA functions. However, for these 3 DVRs, we can support all channel VCA function. So which means less time to sit in front of the computer to do the search. You can just do the motion smart search. Quick compare LTS product with the market of other competitors. So we definitely we can go up to 5 megapixel, and other competitors probably only go for 4 megapixel. And then for the IP input, we actually go up to, I'm sorry, this is, go up to 6 megapixel. This one is only 1080p. Transition, TVI is longer, and also we support CVBS output. This is very important for certain jobs. And also for the price value. And plus, we have Starlight. Our 5 megapixel of the Starlight, only the Starlight in the camera, on the highest resolution with Starlight. And other competitors, they probably only have 4 megapixel, but they don't have Starlight. And for the Starlight, for the true color, for the details, for the quality of the sharpness of the image, it's very impressive. Last but not least, I'm going to just give a quick introduction of a new product lineup. Actually, this is the more alternatives that we bring to this LTS product family. We used to have double D purple, that's surveillance graded hard drives, and this year we actually bring in one more hard drive option, which is Seagate. If you guys have been in this industry for years, you know Seagate. It's another well-known brand. And also they have the Skyhawk as their surveillance equal to purple. It's all surveillance graded hard drive. And we offer this, we now offer both options as well. It's price checked with your sales consultant, the price is great. So before I give the floor to the Vivian, any questions about TVI 4.0, 5 megapixel, and the Starlight? Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's the distance on 5 megapixel, the coax cable?
5 megapixel.
Yeah.
5 megapixel, the coax cable is 800 feet. So, but if you want a little bit longer, you have 2 options. You either lower the resolution or lower the frame rate. But you can still keep the 5 megapixel, but the frame rate is going to jump from 20 frames per second to 12.5 frames per second.
800 feet or 800 meters?
Half feet. 800 feet. Yeah. It's, for the meters, it's 250 meters. Oh, that's
720 feet.
this is the competitor's, and it's 720.
Oh, okay.